Windsong Orchard is a 2.5 hectare mixed fruit orchard. The BioGrow certified property has over 20 varieties of plums, 7 varieties of blueberries, table grapes, kiwi fruit and 3 kinds of feijoas. Bob and Jenny Crum own and operate the business with help from a steady stream of willing workers known as woofers.
We initially bought a piece of land around the road, a smaller piece of land, and once we had babies, we realised we couldn't be spraying in the front yard. So we learned about organics and ran it. I'd done diploma in horticulture at Lincoln and landscape tech, but Bob was a city boy and he had to learn from the word go. He wasn't too sure that a fruit came from the flower. He knew that you had to have the two. So he's come a long way. We looked at the backyard at the time and we had 2 beautiful plum trees and went, those things are bulletproof. And that is the key to organics, I think, is finding the crop that doesn't get diseased so well. So you don't have to fight it. We'd come from California farmers markets and saw the potential for direct selling. So we then realised that we should have a range of product that kept our stall at the market the longest because we wanted the market to succeed. We have 7 different kinds of blueberries, over 20 varieties of plums now that Bob's grafted onto the nectarine rootstocks. And we have feijoas that follow on and table grapes, the old-fashioned table grapes that people remember stealing from their grandmothers. You know, blueberries sell themselves. People now know that they're good for them. But plums, I love selling the plums, and we'll sometimes have 6 varieties along the front, and I have them all for tasting. People will taste their way along, and there's always one that they'll go, oh, my grandmother's tree. This is the one I haven't seen for so long. We've been certified BioGrow now almost 30 years. And initially people thought we were crazy and they'd ask us, oh, you know, will the fruit keep as well? But now a lot more people are looking for organics and selling at the farmer's market as well. It just means that we have such direct control of it all. So it suits us, the whole selling process like that.
No, these are the ones showing.
The farmer's market is the best way for a grower to sell, and I've seen a lot of small businesses start there and move on because you get direct feedback. We'd bring along varieties that we thought were good and they wouldn't sell so well because we have tastings and they might not like the flavour, or we have a plum that we don't like the flavour of so much, but it's pretty and people buy it, and so that way we can learn what sells well. What the customer demands, because that's obviously the main point behind it. Plums, it's like having different fruit. You know, each plum is so distinctive to each other that I could find a plum for everybody's taste, I think. Say Louisa, which is the plum that I like to offer people that say they don't even like plums, and it's quite like a nectarine, super sweet, no tart skin. This is the lovely Louisa that was found up north. Fantastic flavour. It comes on later in the season. We'll pick these partially by colour, but also by feel. They get, the little bottoms get a velvety feeling. This one, Hawara, is a New Zealand variety, and it was found as a sport and developed from that, and it's great. It's a red flesh plum, fantastic flavour. It's not a big variety, but we love it, and we've turned a lot of people onto it. Our main point of difference with the plums is that because of our size, we're able to pick them ripe. We'll touch each plum many times before it's harvested to get just the right feel. It's taken us years to understand when is the right time to pick it. It will still ripen off the tree, plums, but if they're not ripe enough when you pick them, they won't ever achieve that super sweetness. It's very labour intensive. And I think that if we worked out how many hours it took us for the money we make, we might get pretty depressed, so we just don't. We have a great lifestyle. We love what we do. It's a satisfying job. We make enough money so that, yeah, we make a living. We have different reasons for the varieties that we have, but largely we've chosen them for flavour and for their ability to withstand aphid attacks and brown rot or other diseases that they may have.
We've been certified for, like Jenny said, about 30 years now. Mostly organic is about trying to improve the soil and the soil biota, the microbes in the soil we've found that are not only beneficial but actually essential for the growing of plants. There's a whole universe of life below the soil that very little is known about except that it's absolutely necessary. And the best soils are the ones that have the highest microbial activity. So one of the things we do for soil fertility is we can grow them in my little shed there. We buy the concentrated form of the microbes and feed them molasses. In a week, they're multiplied in their billions. And this goes out through my irrigation every other night. And that's part of what we do for soil fertility. Sometimes to conventional growers, it looks a bit shocking here with some of the weeds, but like I said, it's not a beauty contest. We do grow things like comfrey, which is beneficial for the soil. We've tried to minimize our use of water, but unfortunately this soil is so bony and it's very free draining, which fruit trees love it, but they need the water. But we absolutely rely on the woofers. We've been taking woofers for 25 years, I'd say. We've had hundreds of woofers through here, and we try and make a good experience for them. But there's so much physical labor in picking blueberries especially. They're a very good fruit to grow, but they do require lots of labor. And I think that's the only way you can make a small farm like this viable. You'll have to have high-value crops, and that means a lot of labor.
Can I have 2 500-gram bags of blueberries?
Sure. We have now got more customers coming to us, which is very good. This year, the gate sales has been up. People are coming looking for us now, which is what we've wanted. We have no room for expansion, really. We've filled up the property now with fruit, and it's enough for the two of us to manage. And that's the key, I think, is not to get too big. Because we can treat the fruit so well, we end up with a very good quality product. If we get too big, you end up having to employ more people, strip picking, and you lose the satisfaction of it. I like feeling we give the best that we can.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.